Hi guys. Today we're going to talk about the rainbow colors and the fact that they go in order in a certain way. So every single time you see a rainbow, you're going to see it in this order. So it's red, orange, yellow, green, purple. Oops, wrong one. Try it again. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. It always looks like that. Here it is with paints, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and we have it with crayons. One of the ways that you can remember the order of the colors of the rainbow is to remember this: Roy, G, Biv. Kind of sounds like a name. But each of the letters stands for the first letter of a color. For example, R stands for red. And O stands for orange. Yellow stands for, Y stands for yellow. G stands for green. B stands for blue. I, that's a tricky one. Who thinks they know what that stands for? Indigo. And we're not going to use that with our rainbow. We're just going to skip that one. It's a bluish purple. So the next one we're going to do is violet. And another name for violet is purple. So these are the order of the colors of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. They always go in that order. You could also go backwards. You could go purple, blue, green, orange, or yellow, orange, red, whichever way you want. But it always goes in this order. So we're going to sit this up here. I want to remember this. Now, a few days ago, we worked on these gorgeous line paintings. We did zigzag lines. We did curly lines. We have a dashed line. I have a thick, wavy line. I have a different kind of wavy line, and I have this interesting line, which is called a rectilinear line. Now what we're going to do today, we're going to paint the white space in between those lines. And some people might not be painting. Some people might be using markers, or some people might be using crayons. And if you're at home, you use whatever you have. If you have crayons, if you have colored pencils, if you have paint, whatever you have. I think today we're going to be using crayons and paint. So what you want to do, you want to paint this one the first color of the rainbow, and that is red. So what I like to do, I like to put a little R here with my pencil, and that stands for red. So I know I'm going to put red right here, no matter if it's crayon, paint, or marker. This next space in here is going to be the next color of the rainbow, which is orange. So I'm going to put an O here. So all of this white is going to be orange. This next space, and this is just a little space in here, we're going to color the next color, which is yellow. I'm going to put a Y here. So I'm just going in order: red, orange, yellow. So this space here is going to be green. So I'm going to put G so I can remember green. I have another space, so we're going to the next color. That's going to be blue. So what letter am I going to put? Blue. B. This is a very interesting space to fill. That's going to be the next color, which is purple or violet. So I'm going to put V for violet. Now what am I going to do? I have one more space left. Well, what you do, you go back to the beginning. So I would go back to red. So I'm going to put an R here. So we have R for red, O for orange, Y for yellow, G for green, B for blue, V for violet, and R for red. And if we had another one under the red, do you know what color that would be? orange. So now you're just going to start coloring depending on what you're using, markers, crayons, or paint. If you're using paint, one of the things that you need to do, you kind of have to wake the paint up. It's kind of dry, it's been sitting. This is watercolor paint, and you actually need water in order for it to wake up or to be used. So I'm just going to take my brush and put a little bit of water in here. If you're painting at school, I've probably already done this. So when you get your paints, there's already going to be a little puddle of water in it, which is good. We want that little puddle because that kind of wakes up those colors a little bit. Ooh, that blue is. And this one is going to be purple. So what color am I going to use first up here? I forget. Oh, R, red. Dip my brush in water, get a little bit of paint, just a little. Am I digging my brush into the paint? No. And you're just going to paint. It's kind of see-through paint, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be really dark. And you're just going to carefully paint this space right here. And if you need a little more water, if it's getting thirsty, you just get a little more water. It almost looks like a pinkish color, but it's interesting because if you look at a rainbow, sometimes the red in the rainbow looks kind of pink, so that's kind of fun. All right. So the next color, oh, it's going to be orange. What do I do with my brush that has red on it? Clean it off. Takes a bath. Get a little bit of orange. I'm going to paint the next one. And I'm careful when I go around my lines. Up. Go around my lines. Oh, I think my brush might be getting thirsty. Get a little water, a little paint. Try not to be scribbly. Take your time with your paint. Okay. Alright, so I'm all done with my orange. The next color in the rainbow is yellow. So I'm going to rinse my brush and I'm going to get some yellow. I'm going to do this part. And if you want, if you got little loops, I think I'm going to go ahead and paint those. And you're just going to keep going all the way down till it's filled. I'm going to do some marker, I think, for the next one. G would be green. So I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to carefully color this section green all the way across. So if you have markers, just make sure you're being nice and neat. You don't want to be scribbly. Think about what comes after green, because that's next. After green. Okay, and then blue. So I'm going to use a blue crayon for this. Make sure if you're using crayons that you're also being nice and neat. If you go off the edge a little bit, just like I did, that's okay. That won't matter. The messy match should help with that. I like, when I use crayons, I like to press kind of hard so that that color looks nice and bright, just like this. This is looking very good. So I've got my red, got my orange, I've got my yellow. I even did my yellow in the little loops. And now I've got green and then blue. All right. So remember, whatever you're using, you just want to make sure it's nice. I'm going to go ahead and finish with my paints. The next color is violet, which is this last color. If you're using paints in the art room, you'll notice when you get the paints, they're already in order for you. R-O-Y-G-B-V, Roy G Biv. So you don't have to go back and forth. You can just go straight down the line. Do you guys remember where you're going to go after you finish the violet? If you still have more, what am I going to do there? Who thinks they know? Okay, so we're going to go back to the beginning. So make sure that you clean your brush, go back to the beginning, and you're going to finish with some red. Of course, you're going to take your time. When you're all finished, if you raise your hand, I will come look at it, double check it, and then we'll start putting these in the drying rack. All right, these are going to be great. I can't wait to see yours. So whatever you're using, if you're at home, you can use markers or watercolor or crayons. They all are going to look beautiful. I think in class we're going to use some watercolor and crayons. I can't wait to see them. They're going to look great. Thanks, guys.